In today's video, we're going to be studying amides. Now here we have the outline of what we'll be discussing. So what are amides, synthesis of amides, and peptide bond. Okay, now amides are organic compounds that contain nitrogen atom that is bonded to the carbonyl group. Now the carbonyl group is a carbon atom bonded to oxygen atom by a double bond. Now in an amide, this carbonyl group is bonded to a nitrogen atom in this manner. Okay, now of course they form a homologous series of compounds, but this video is simply a brief introduction into amides. So let's take a look at the synthesis of amides. Amides are synthesized by the reaction of carboxylic acid with amine or amine. Okay, so carboxylic acid, take for example ethanoic acid with the formula, the structural formula that looks like this. Okay, so this is ethanoic acid. Now, ethanoic acid reacts with methylamine. So we have methylamine. But in this case, I want us to flip the amine. Okay, so we could represent the amine in this way. So hydrogen on this side, and then nitrogen with a double bond with its two lone pairs, and we have the alkyl group on this side and another hydrogen here. Now what happens in this reaction is that it's almost like a neutralization reaction. Okay, so the carboxylic acid contributes the OH, okay, and the H is lost from here. So in other words, water is one of the products formed. Okay, so we have water and an amide. Okay, now the amide formed would look like this. Okay, let me write this in yellow. The amide formed would look like this. Remember, this is what we have left from the carboxylic acid. Okay, so we have the carbonyl group and an oxygen, or rather the oxygen atom is gone. So here from the amine we have nitrogen, okay, and the alkyl group with hydrogen on this side. Now I want us to take note of this bond. Okay, this bond. It's important that we take note of this bond. But this molecule is essentially an amide, okay, and this is how amides are synthesized. Now let's take a look at the peptide bond. Now looking at the peptide bond, the bond I had highlighted that looks like this, with a bond, a carbon-nitrogen bond that looks like this. Okay, so the carbon is carbon from the carbonyl group, so nitrogen is bonded to the carbon atom in the carbonyl group. Now this bond, the bond in yellow, is a peptide bond. Okay, it's called a peptide bond or a peptide link. Now, why is this bond so important? This bond is so important because it's actually the bond that is formed between amino acids. Now, amino acids are the basic building blocks of proteins. Okay, so proteins are formed by the combination of amino acids. In essence, proteins are polymers. Okay, proteins are polymers of amino acids. Now, an amino acid is made of an amine functional group, which is NH2. It has a carboxylic acid functional group, which is COOH, and it also has a side chain. Okay, these are the parts that make up an amino acid. Now, the side chain is different depending on the particular amino acids, and there are about 20 amino acids in living things. Okay, so let's have an amino acid that looks like this. So we'd have the amine functional group, NH2, and then we'd have our side chain. Okay, so CH and then an alkyl group here, and then would have the carboxylic acid functional group, something like this. Now would have two of these amino acids, so we have another amino acid that looks like this. Okay, the exact same hydrogen here, and this is the side chain, then carboxylic acid functional group, something that looks like this. Now these are two amino acids, okay, and in order for these amino acids to form a chain, they need to combine. Okay, they need to undergo polymerization reaction, and in polymerization reaction bonds are formed. Now the particular bond formed in this polymerization reaction is a peptide bond or a peptide link. Okay, so what happens is that we have the hydroxyl group here combining with one hydrogen from the amine group to form a water molecule. Okay, so one of the products formed in this polymerization reaction is water. And when we have water as a product in a polymerization reaction, such polymerization reaction is a condensation polymerization, or in essence is a condensation reaction. Okay, now here's how the polymer would look. Okay, so we'd have a amine functional group with nitrogen here and hydrogen here, and of course the side chain, and the carboxylic acid functional group. Now of course we've lost the OH here. What we have here is a bond with nitrogen, and remember this bond is the same bond that we had here, which is a peptide link, okay, or a peptide bond. Now we have the hydrogen from here, nitrogen, hydrogen, then the side chain, and the carboxylic acid functional group. Okay, now from the side highlighted in blue, we have nitrogen and hydrogen here, and then we also have the side chain, and then we have the carboxylic acid group. Okay, now notice that this carboxylic acid group, now this is a polymerized amino acid. Two amino acids have combined in this case to form an amino acid chain, and continuous chains of this form is what leads to the formation of proteins, and that is why this peptide bond, okay, this peptide bond or peptide link is very important because it leads to the formation of proteins. Now notice that we also have the carboxylic acid part here, and this carboxylic acid part or functional group is able to react with another amine, and the reaction continues, forming longer chains and forming proteins. Okay, so this is a brief introduction into amides. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching till the end. Bye.